At the end of December 2024, I logged in 6 hours of screen time, out of which 4 hours were in social media, which just meant I was doing what we call infinite scrolling and just wasting my time without doing anything productive. 6 hours out of 24 hours, that's like almost 25% of my day spent doing nothing. It was like a wake-up call for me, and I decided to take matters into my own hands. And therefore, I found a solution on YouTube actually to turn all this infinite scrolling into something productive that does not involve any device. Any new app would keep me involved and away from my phone. Finding this technique or this method has helped to reduce my screen time from 6 hours to 2 hours in just 1 month. I'd say that's fair, right? I had been journaling for quite some time. I had come across gratitude journals, daily journals, writing how your day went, but it never really struck a chord with me. Some days I did it, some days I did not. It is at this point in time when I started looking into YouTube for ways to do less screen time and maybe more productive work that I found the concept of bullet journals. So let's start from the top. Bullet journals are also called bujos, just by shortening the name. They are called so because they use bullets to track or log activity. Now, how did that help me in stopping my infinite scrolling? Now, the thing with bullet journals is, like everything else, they have evolved with time. Now, bullet journals are not only used just to log or track updates, but they're also used as trackers. You can track anything under the sun, your weight, your habits. If you go into YouTube today and just search bullet journal, you will see a whole month's worth of videos at least of how you can do a bullet journal and such pretty journals, and a lot of people get daunted by looking at such picturesque and aesthetically designed journals. But the fact of the matter is, yours doesn't have to be. If you feel like you just want to track, like me, you do not want to make it pretty, you just want to use it as an accessory to your life to make your life better, you are at the right place. So how did this help in reducing my screen time? Primarily, my goal for bullet journaling was that I reduce my screen time. Now, whenever I felt like picking up my phone, I just picked up my journal and wrote whatever was in my head. Now, this was of course aided by the fact that the journal was kept in some place where I was constantly visiting or sitting, like my work desk. I spent most of the hours of my day in my work desk, and therefore it's directly in my sight. Whenever I thought of my phone, I picked up that journal and just scribbled something. You can even draw, paint, and do whatever is in your mind, and I did exactly that. It takes maybe 2 to 3 minutes, but maybe at the end of it, and actually definitely at the end of it, I did not think about picking up my phone, and I just went back to my work or whatever I was doing before thinking about picking up my phone. Now, I have seen my fair share of bullet journal videos, and before I start, I want to say is that this journal only represents the things I wanted to track. For example, my finances, my moods, my thoughts, my gratitude, anything and everything that I want to track, and it can be the same for you. Nowhere is it written that you have to follow a particular format. There's no particular way to do this, and that is where you get the freedom. Of course, you can refer to so many journals available on the internet, and even mine, to start somewhere, and then you can see where it goes for you. This is the journal I got for myself. Well, I did not technically get it. This was given to me from my office, and I just had it lying around, and I did not want to buy a new journal just for the sake of it until I'm actually going to follow through into that practice. You can use any notebook or journal you have available. You don't necessarily have to buy a new journal just to start this practice. As you can see, this is for the year 2025, so I'm just doodled to my best to indicate what year this is, and then I'm going to turn it over. I don't really use all of these planners. I'm going to turn it over to the front page. So this is the index that I've created. So pages 1 and 2 are for whatever I want to do at the end of the year. I have not thought how I want to exactly show the total year. Maybe towards the middle of the year I'll design that. Pages 3 to 10 are all about January. As you can see, I have created my own calendar across the days with the day indicated on top for it, and each of the days has a box of roughly 4 to 5 lines so that I can write my to-do items into each of these boxes. So for a bullet journal, we use a bullet to write each of the to-do items, and once they are done, we strike it out. In case it's not done and you move it to the next day, we use this arrow to indicate it's going to the next day. You can use whatever format you like for your calendar. Create one as a linear calendar or maybe as a matrix like I have done. That's completely up to you. The next two pages were mostly a mood and gratitude or feelings tracker, so I had it done by the days, and I had also marked which day of the week it is, and I had just one line for gratitude. How did I feel that day? What is that one significant thing I got done that day? And then I had a mood tracker for 6 moods that I'm generally in. You'll see most of the month I am happy, maybe somewhere I am indifferent, and that helps me to track well. On 5th I was indifferent, and why was that? Here I can see everyone left for home today, so my family had come over and they left that day, so maybe I was not exactly happy and excited that day. The next page was my daily habit or lifestyle tracker. Like I said, my journal is not aesthetic, it is meant for me to track. I had kept this part open just because maybe I wanted to track another habit, but I did not feel it was significant enough. I had my weight tracker across the days, I had my habit tracker, and then I gave myself some space and time to enjoy because I had a trip going on. But other than that, I tried to track my habits as best I can. I'm not saying I'm the perfect person, but this has really helped me to look back and see where I did good and where I could have done better. And then these are my daily thoughts. I did not write daily, these are maybe 2 to 3 days while I was in the trip. I wanted to document and remember those. I have also used it to document my YouTube ideas. I just use it to throw ideas in, what can be done, what I'd like to do. I have also started, taking notes from the book I was reading. It is something that I'm interested in, and so I wanted to take a note and keep it in mind so that whenever I come here, I can remember that, hey, I read this book and this is what I found worth remembering. My intention of doing bullet journaling initially wasn't to journal per se. Like, I was already journaling, but I wasn't totally into it. It was like I was following more of the trend doing gratitude journaling. But the moment I saw that this might be a way to reduce my screen time, I jumped into it. The habit trackers were just a bonus, and this has immensely helped me reduce my screen time, of course, but other than that, it has increased my focus, my concentration. I do not feel restless anymore. I do not need to have 5 applications running to do one job. I can focus on one primary task like we used to do in our school days. Now I am in February and I am almost in the middle of it. I can see that my habit tracker has slowly started to become more consistent. I am consistently hitting 10,000 steps a day, trying to meditate, work out regularly, and my screen time is definitely below 2 hours in a day. If you are somebody who's also struggling with screen time and are not really familiar with bullet journals, or the bullet journals on the internet look a bit scary to you and you want me to show a step-by-step tutorial for my next bullet journal, do let me know in the comments below. If this video was helpful, remember to like and subscribe for more.